Hi, everybody. It's good to see you all since we've all been separated physically for what seems like forever. But so happy to participate in today's convocation. I am pleased to congratulate Alyssa Appleman on 5 years at NKU. And I am incredibly proud to have been the chair to have hired her. I knew she would do a great job, and she has certainly exceeded all expectations that I had, and I'm sure many others who anticipated her arrival onto NKU's campus 5 years ago. Alyssa is probably one of the most organized people that I know. She always has multiple projects going on at the same time. She has them methodically planned out from start to finish, and she is probably one of the best examples of a faculty member that I know who is very good at seeing projects through to completion, from just the concept of it, collecting the data, getting the write-up, presenting it at a conference, and resulting in a publication. She does it perfectly. And that's part of why she earned tenure 1 year early last year because of her great success in terms of not only excellent teaching, excellent service, but outstanding research. Alyssa's research on the effect of journalistic errors on media credibility, I think, is highly relevant today, and also very, very important in the era of fake news, and how do we put this all together in terms of improving credibility, and the very important role that journalists have in getting the objective truth to us about what's really going on in a democratic society. And she's done a great job in terms of studying lots of different aspects of that topic. Her work has been published in national journals, top level journals in her discipline. She's presented internationally as well as nationally, and is well regarded. Alyssa's an excellent, outstanding teacher. She happily volunteered to develop our first AP online course, accelerated class for Journalism 110. And I think it serves as a model for AP courses. I know that many of us have gone to her for advice as we've developed our online teaching, which we're all doing now. Wasn't so much the case a couple years ago, but certainly is now in this kind of new world that we're in. Alyssa has served on many committees, even as a junior faculty member. She's a dedicated servant to our university community. And the other thing about Alyssa that I would say is that she is very reasonable. She's very fair. She has great ideas. And I don't know if she'd want me to say this, but I have often told her that I think she'd be a great department chair someday. And kind of thinking about, gee, when I retire in 12 to 15 years from now, it'd be great if she was the department chair at that time. That, I would love to have her as my boss someday. And I think she'd be outstanding for it. But again, I don't know if that's totally what she wants to do, but certainly those are some thoughts that I have. I will say, since the pandemic began and we went virtual, I have really missed our daily interactions. Alyssa's office is just a couple doors down from mine. She is such a great person to bounce ideas off and help actually make important decisions. She and I have birthdays that are very close in March, and she's almost exactly 20 years younger than me. But I look to her for mentorship. And in my organizational communication class, I teach about the idea of what we call upside down mentorship, where, is it possible for someone to guide you who is either newer to the organization, younger, or at a different level in the organization? And that Alyssa is definitely a good example of that. She helped me so much in transitioning back to being a regular faculty member, and I cannot thank her enough for that. We also had some kind of similar personal experience, again, different life stages when her and Steve got married. My son was engaged and went kind of through the wedding process too. And then last fall, when my oldest sister became a grandma and I became a great uncle, she became pregnant at that time. So we had kind of some similarities with the baby experience. I'm not a grandparent yet. That will be coming not for a few years, hopefully. So anyway, But it was fun to watch her and Steve become parents. And but I feel so bad that I have not been able to see Samuel in person, and I hope I get to sometime soon when this pandemic is over. So I'm very excited about where Alyssa's career is going to go. I think she's got a bright future, and NKU is so lucky to have her. Congratulations, Alyssa. Hope to see you soon. Thanks.
So, Kendall Fisher. We owe Kendall's presence here to the namesake of this room, Ellen Revachol. Mrs. Revachol took pity on a newish dean and referred us to the retired fundraiser for the UC Medical School, whom I brought in as a consultant to find us a new advancement director to please help me raise us some money for this college. And warning me that Kendall would be a very unconventional hire, she sent her to us. So if there's one great word for this college and most of us in it, I think it should be unconventional. Kendall has executive directed the Cincinnati Preservation Association. You can see the church tower she saved at the corner of Gilbert and Taft. She executive directed Women Helping Women, bringing a large team and board together around domestic violence. One article said her org helped out 12,000 women a year. And now, after a game-changing turn as our advancement director, where she helped dial up fundraising to about $1 million a year in this college, she's executive directing Informatics Plus. It is our outreach arm, and she is the quintessential genius of outreach. Boy, I really miss when John Gibson was doing these things. You could like cut things out. He had 2 cameras. Miss you, John. Miss you during this pandemic. Hope you're shooting this next year. Anyway, the stupidest thing I did at work in the past few years was submit Kendall's name about 3 years ago for NKU's Wise Women of NKU recognition. And I didn't ask her permission. And of course, next thing we know, her face and bio are all over a Marcom webpage. And of course, she's cringing, like she probably is now watching this. She is the opposite of a publicity seeker. From day 0, Kendall has built and strengthened relationships with board members, donors, stakeholders, and her finely tuned perceptivity has made her excel in both roles she's had here. People enjoy being around her, and they see she is wicked smart, to quote another wise woman of NKU. So if you're new here, walk in virtually or physically to Informatics Plus and talk to Kendall. It will make a difference.
Hello, Ken Roth. I could not believe that there are 5 years since Ken is working for NKU. Times goes by fast. Ken started teaching for NKU 5 years ago as a lecturer, initially part-time and then full-time, and since 2019 he became an assistant professor of practice, teaching a variety of classes, including a very popular Internet of Things class. He has a vast industry experience, having many leadership positions at Duke Energy and DBA Direct. His background is in electrical engineering, having his bachelor and master degree from Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. He added to that an MBA degree from University of Chicago. How did I meet Ken? Well, as many good things that happens in life, all started with a game of tennis. In 2011, I met a young tennis player at a tennis court. He told me that his father is a CEO of an IT company called DBA Direct. I gave him a card for his father. A few days later, I got an email from John Bostic, the boy's father. Later that year, I was looking for invited speakers for a seminar class, and I invited John to deliver a talk. He recommended the DBA Direct president at that time, Ken Roth. Ken was gracious to accept my invitation, and he delivered a yearly talk from 2011 to 2016. I truly believe that without that tennis match, Ken might not have been today at NKU. Well, I also think that supporting my tennis expenses should be considered a recruiting cost for NKU, but I doubt the dean and chair will have the wisdom to think that way. Well, it's worth trying.